Module 4, Lesson 16 and 17. Write expressions in which letters stand for numbers. Our learning target is I can write algebraic expressions that record all operations with numbers and letters standing for the numbers. So in yesterday's lesson, we went over different words that stand for add, subtract, multiply, divide, and exponent. And we did this so that way when we got to this lesson, you would be able to go from expressions that are in words, like we did yesterday. Yesterday we practiced writing expressions with words. So taking the expressions that are written in words and turning them into expressions that use only numbers, letters, and symbols. So we're going to practice doing that now. So we're going to go from expressions in written words to expressions that are written in numbers, letters, and symbols. So our first one is the sum of twice b and 5. So sum tells us that we are going to be adding. So I've drawn our little addition symbol. Twice b tells us that there has to be two b's. So 2b. And then 5 just tells us that we need 5. So with numbers, letters, and symbols, our new expression is 2b plus 5. So now we have the quotient of C and D. And so we know that quotient is the answer to a division problem, so we are going to be dividing. And yesterday we went over when an expression is written this way, the quotient of C and D, that C is our dividend and D is our divisor. The dividend comes first, so we're going to have C divided by our dividend, which is D. So we can write it this way, or we can write it in the fraction form, which is C over D. Either of those work and are perfect to show this expression. So we have A raised to the 5th power and then increased by the product of A and C. So we have A, and then A is going to be raised to the 5th power. Power tells us that it's an exponent, so we're going to have that little floaty 5. And then we have that it is increased by, so this tells us that we are now adding. So we'll have A to the power 5 plus the product of 5 and C, and product tells us we're multiplying, so we're going to have 5C. So now our expression reads A to the power 5 plus 5C. Our next one is the quantity of A plus B divided by 4. So quantity means we need to add something up. This tells us we're going to be adding up A plus B. So A plus B. Then we see that it is divided by, so that is going to have our division symbol. So now we need to go back in and we need to add these parentheses. And it is divided by 4. So we have 4. Remember, you can also write this as a fraction. So we can have A plus B over 4. And our next one is 10 less than the product of 15 and C. So less than tells us we are subtracting. And that means that this 10 is actually going to come at the very end. And then we have product of 15 and C. Product means we're multiplying. So this part needs to come before the minus symbol. So we're going to have 15C. So our expression is 15C minus 10. And our last one is 5 times D and then increased by 8. So times tells us we're multiplying, so we're going to be multiplying 5 and D, so we'll have 5D. And then increased by tells us we are adding, then 8 tells us we're increasing by 8, so our expression is going to read 5D plus 8. Now we're going to practice writing expressions with numbers, letters, and symbols based on story problems. So this first one is Mario is missing half of his assignments. If A, so that's the letter we're going to be using, A, represents the number of assignments, write an expression to show how many assignments Mario is missing. So he has A. A is the number of assignments. He's missing half of those. So we're going to divide A in half. So we could say A over 2, or we could say A divided by 2. Both of those work. Our next story problem is Marcus has $4 more than Yazin. If Y is the amount of money Yazin has, write an expression to show how much money Marcus has. So Marcus has $4 more than Yazin, and we're going to use Y. So it can be Y plus 4 or 4 plus Y. Either works, because remember that when it comes to addition, order does not matter, so you can have Y plus 4 or 4 plus Y. Both of these show that Marcus has $4 more. Our next story problem is Camilla's weight has tripled since her first birthday. If W represents the amount Camilla weighed on her first birthday, write an expression to show how much Camilla weighs. So we're using W to represent weight on her first birthday. So we're going to have W. It tells us that her weight has tripled. So that is 3W. Or you could write 3 times W or W times 3. But remember, when possible, we do want to try to eliminate symbols. So this would be the best response, but all 3 of these are correct. Our next story problem says, Nathan brings cupcakes to school and gives them to his 5 best friends who share them equally. If C represents the number of cupcakes, so we're going to be using the number C, of number of cupcakes Nathan brings to school, write an expression to show how many cupcakes each of his friends receive. So he has C cupcakes, and he's going to divide them amongst 5 friends. So C divided by 5, or C over 5, it doesn't matter which way you write it, they both mean the exact same thing. This next story problem says, Miss Marcus combines her atlases and dictionaries and then divides them among 10 different tables. A is going to represent the number of atlases, and D is going to represent the number of dictionaries Miss Marcus has. Write an expression to show how many books would be at each table. So first we need to add up the number of atlases and dictionaries she has. So that's going to be A plus D, and then she's going to divide them among 10 different tables. So A plus D over 10, or A plus D divided by 10. Remember, if you are writing it this way, you need those parentheses around A plus D so that the person knows that you need to do A plus D first. Otherwise, you might not get the correct answer. I'm just saying. And our last story problem is, to improve in basketball, Ivan's coach told him that he needs to take 4 times as many free throws and 4 times as many jump shots every day. If F represents the number of free throws and J represents the number of jump shots Ivan shoots daily, write an expression to show how many shots he will need to take in order to improve in basketball. So we need to add up the number of free throws and the number of jump shots. So we're going to have F plus J. And his coach told him that he needs to take 4 times as many as that. So we're going to take 4 plus J, and we are going to multiply it by 4. So I have 4, and then the parentheses F plus J. And that's it. Now go complete the problem set.